Man, this is a rough country. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Yeah, what do you...
Might be the last you ever see of me, people.
America, it's your boys, and today we're doing something a little different. We're actually going to go interview one of our favorite YouTubers. His name is Tom, and we're going to do a deep dive into the deepest, darkest secrets that he's ever revealed. Probably not. Maybe a little bit. We'll see. We're excited to do this because we want to start a new segment of our channel where we interview and get to know people that we admire. So we're excited to do this. We're right around the corner from his house right now. So let's get going. So at the beginning of these episodes, what we want to do is see what these people are working on, because they're all talented folks. They're all working on different vehicles, and we're going to see what he's working on. He said just to come on back, so. Hello?
Come on in.
Hey, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just showing off my angle grinder. How are you guys doing?
I love that.
Oh, smooth.
Okay.
That was really
I don't think we can lean into that.
Yeah, people are gonna believe that. We just came in, we're like, how do we make it seem like we just got here?
So, welcome to my shop. These guys are awesome, and they invited me to go for a ride with them today, and I said yes.
How you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
What is
So yeah, tell us about this.
I invented this little angle grinder stand because I needed two hands to do a lot of my work. I'm gonna be selling these soon, and this one I'm gonna be giving away on social media.
And obviously you're using this a lot to work on this.
Yes.
What are you working on at the moment?
This is Big Doug. It's a 1973 Chevy pickup truck that I've owned for about 25 years.
So where's the grill?
Everybody asks that. Where's the grill?
Did I see the grill on in a certain part of a certain episode, and then it disappeared?
These brackets are not the right brackets for that grill, but that's the grill I want to use, so I need to get the right brackets. Right now, only one screw will fit, so it'll break itself apart if I drive it with one screw. But at the show, I carefully set the grill in there. I put in the one screw, so there are pictures of it with a grill.
Under the hood, baby.
Right now, my next upgrade is to figure out the steering. I've got the PSC steering box in here, but I had to take the Ram Assist off, and I want to get that back on because it'll help a lot with 40-inch tires.
What's the most exciting part down in here that you're most stoked about?
It's definitely the suspension. I'd like to swap this out someday and get into the 500 horsepower range, but yeah, the suspension, it rides so good. Dig Dug with the old leaf springs was a really stiff, just buckboard ride, and now it's really fun to drive.
All right, the interior, let's check it out.
It's coming along. I made some improvements this week. So it's got a PRP seats. I've got a 3-stick shifter in there that I built. It's got a doubler in it. I've got the gauges from Speed Hut, Lakara steering wheel, and some other cool parts coming from Locar. Ron Francis wiring harness is poking out there. And that'll all get covered up, but it needs to get wired first.
Well, the truck had the old glass fuses, the one you could use a 22 shell.
Oh, yes.
Listen, we don't know what to do with these mini fuses.
See, I've got my lockers wired up down here and taped to the side.
What job site did the shifter lever come from?
That was actually a free piece of rebar from Schultz and Steel they had in their scrap pile, and I have to move it to whichever lever I want to shift.
Hey, we need to get him like a little ball right there at the top, some kind of skull head or something.
Yeah.
All right, boys, let's hit the road.
The back of the Raptor. Where's the candy? Yeah.
Well,
We
we'll
got you in under false pretenses. We don't have any.
My ears!
First thing we
How come the doors are locked?
They locked automatically.
This might be the last you ever see of me,
This is a
people.
little bit, yeah. Any last words? So obviously, most interviews are like normal in a nice, air-conditioned, comfortable podcast room, but
Just a little different.
actually this is air-conditioned, so at least we have that. A super important question: freedom or communism?
I'm a big freedom fan.
Okay, good. Just have to make sure.
Make sure.
That's kind of a screen out. Like, we stopped here.
Yeah,
that's wrong.
Boom.
Yeah, this is where the eject button comes into play. Get out.
Get him out of here.
So before the YouTube, did you have a dream of becoming or doing something that you haven't been able to do yet?
I never imagined that that YouTube would exist, or that I would someday be on YouTube or be on TV and have a channel like this. So before that, I always thought about, as a kid, being an engineer. That was the way that I saw my life. I was gonna grow up, I would do some kind of engineering, and along the way I really found a love and passion for fabrication and metalwork. That's played a way bigger role in my life than I ever imagined it would, and I've really enjoyed pursuing that and trying to blend the two. Hopefully that answers.
No, that's
the
great.
question.
That's great. First car you ever had, and then first car you ever purchased.
in high school, I drove a Ford Ranger and an S10 pickup truck. In high school, I drove those. Those were my parents' cars. The first car I ever purchased was a truck too. It was a 1981 Chevy pickup truck, square body.
Oh,
A
sweet.
little newer than
Yes.
Dig Dug.
A little newer than Dig Dug.
Four-wheel
And-
drive?
No, it was two-wheel drive.
Two-wheel drive.
Back in the day.
It was two-wheel drive.
The hood was a little bit more pointed, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
And then I had a 78, and some of the parts from the 78 are on Dig Dug.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, partial donor.
Yeah, he selected yes on donor,
Yeah.
donating future parts to the next car. So next,
Supercharged or not?
yeah.
Yeah.
Supercharged. Also insurance or not.
Yes, insured, insured or uninsured.
Supercharged in yours for sure.
Yeah. Oh, that feels so good. So what's the weirdest thing that you've either seen or experienced while off-roading? Just really bizarre.
We did a recovery once that was for a Gambler 500 vehicle. And we got there, it was a Ford Mustang that the guy had like 33 or 35 inch tires on, and it totally ripped his back axle out. Like the mounts for his links were coming apart. But it was the coolest vehicle and kind of made me rethink like some build ideas that I had been working on. And talking to the Gambler 500 guys, they're all kind of weird and kind of create these crazy builds, and I just loved that, and I just thought that was a really fun idea that obviously wasn't executed well. It kind of tore itself apart, but it was a cool vehicle.
That's cool. That's awesome. So this is a fun one. What of all your off-road trips did the most damage, and give us a general dollar amount?
Including labor.
Yeah.
The most damage on Dig Dug that I ever did was on a recovery we went on where I tipped it, and I had a big Jeep wave on the back. You know, I had my tires way up in the air, and I'm nose down, and I did some body damage on that, and I actually like tweaked the frame on Dig Dug a little bit. The hangers that hold all the leaf springs were like a little bit loose. They were a little bit tweaked.
Because they're all buck riveted onto the frame.
They're all riveted on, and I could see that those rivets were all loosening up, and body mounts were like they were coming apart, and the polyurethane pucks that hold it all together, like they were just smashed and torn up. So I welded that cap directly to the frame. It's like permanently attached now. They're one, and so none of those parts are like even exist anymore. They've all been taken off. So it wasn't like catastrophic, like I had to go home and redo everything.
Yeah, that's good.
But there was definitely some damage done when I was flexing it up doing that.
Now the frame on that is a C channel, right?
Yeah, the frames on the 70 Chevy trucks were not great. They were really flexible. They were made out of C channel, and everything was riveted together.
I remember driving a 77, that my dad's Chevy. You'd twist them, and man, the cabs and the beds would just almost touch.
You'd get a ton of flex out of the frame itself. The Ford frames, I think, in that era were tougher.
Ford or Chevy?
Or
You could give me another option?
or Stellantis. Sorry, Fiat. I mean, sorry, Ram.
Jeep?
Jeep.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so Stellantis.
So if I have to pick one, it's Chevy. It is definitely Chevy. But I will say that
Doesn't mean it. Doesn't mean it.
I love Chevy for a lot of reasons. Parts compatibility with Chevy is incredible. With a Ford, you have to know what month it was built.
Yeah.
But you know, a Chevy from 1955, an engine will bolt to a transmission, you know, in the mid 2000s or maybe even today. So they have this incredible parts compatibility that makes building and putting Chevys together easier than anything else out there. I think they both built great vehicles, and there are some Fords that I really like. I'm a huge fan of the bump side era Ford trucks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, late 60s. I think they're awesome looking.
Yeah.
I've been eyeing one on Marketplace, but haven't pulled the trigger. So yeah, there's good and bad on all sides, but I would say Chevy.
So do we eject?
Eject OC.
Eject for sure.
This is my-
Eject. Yeah, hold on first. We'll give him warning since he's been nice. Whoa! So where did you go to school?
I've been to a lot of schools. I started, I guess, at Chandler Community College, and then I went to BYU for a semester, and then I went to Mesa Community College, and then I went to ASU, and then I went to I did a couple classes at Gateway Community College, and then I went to the University of Utah.
So just
Holy
samples.
cow!
You're like, I want to sample.
You're
all
college-
that.
college
I just went to
hopping.
school wherever I was.
Just
I'm like,
school.
I live in here. I'm gonna go to school here, and then I don't know. We moved around a little bit, and I did some different schools.
And how many?
But University of Utah is where I finished my bachelor's degree and a master's degree.
Oh, cool. I didn't. Oh, okay, so you have your master's.
Nuclear engineering.
Really? Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Favorite movie? Just a classic.
Oh wow. It's kind of nerdy, but I really like. This wasn't like a super popular movie, but I really liked a movie called iRobot. With
Oh, dude, with Will Smith
Yeah.
and Shia
movie.
LaBeouf.
You know what else? I love Godzilla movies. I love like the old ones. I love them all. My kids have all watched tons of Godzilla movies with me. They don't like them as much. They kind of think I'm crazy, but Godzilla movies in general.
Dude, okay,
awesome.
so obviously I love movies. And when I was a kid, my favorite movie, iRobot, just because there was a...
Oh.
The end scene always gave me goosebumps. You know, it like
yeah.
pulls down, it shows all the... Dude, that's
Some
so
cool
funny.
themes in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Will Smith, before he slapped Chris Rock, was a great Will Smith. He was always a
Probably
Pre-slap.
Yeah.
pre-slap Will Smith. Yeah, when anyone refers to like what time period were you living in, I lived before the slap and after the slap.
I'm okay with post-slap.
Yeah, BS and PS.
Every now and then he needs a good slap. That guy-
Right?
I don't know that he needed it then, but there's a few times I've wanted to slap him.
How did what you went to school for tie into YouTube?
Started in school, didn't have any idea what I wanted to do, and I'm like, okay, I really liked physics. So I switched my major, finished a degree in physics. Along the way, I found this nuclear engineering program, and so I went and finished a master's in that. But to pay for school, I started working as a welder. I always loved welding. I paid for my school with welding, and I always worked as a welder and a fabricator on the side and did jobs for people, and I liked working on cars and trucks and would build things for them. Matt called me up one day and said, hey, you want to come down here and work for me in Matt's Off-Road? And we were at a point in our life where we could actually go do that. And so that's where we ended up down here in Hurricane, Utah.
That's awesome. Okay, Coke or Pepsi?
I don't drink anything caffeinated. I've never had either.
Tab then. Wait, is Tab
Yeah,
caffeinated?
it's caffeinated.
You know what?
And saccharinated.
I have had sips of both, and I gotta say, I think cola in general is disgusting. So Coke and Pepsi both get a big no.
It's a big thumbs down.
Yeah,
Dang it.
it's-
Sprite though?
Yes, I hardly
Maybe.
ever drink soda.
So
Just
no
soda.
soda in
Yeah,
general.
I hardly ever drink carbonation.
No soda. Okay, that's cool. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
that's great. It's kind of ejecto seat worthy,
It's
but it's
middle
all right.
ejecto. It's like, all right.
Dude, yeah, whatever you love, Dr. Pepper, I probably hate it. So yeah, this is definitely eject.
So cranberry juice for Tom.
I'm not a huge fan of cranberry.
What?
Cranberry juice. Also out.
He's like, look, dude, water, don't mess
Water.
it up.
I do.
Dude.
I drink a ton of water.
Okay.
Water's my number one.
Say you're in a third world country, water will make you sick. Then what are you drinking?
Milk, you can't drink milk
I can't drink milk.
Because the cows are like
because they're
all weird.
dried up. They're dead.
Man, this is a rough country. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Yeah, what are you doing?
When we go to Mexico, that's what we're faced with.
Can I get a root beer? Is that an option?
Yeah, we'll let you have a root beer.
Okay, yeah, root beer. Okay.
right.
Thank you. I'm gonna live.
Worst off-roading spot ever? Like, because you've been to a million different places. What's the one place that's like, I will never go back there?
I'm not a huge fan of mud. Muddy stuff, I don't know, it's just not my favorite. You know, I love rock crawling, I love desert, I love running through the forest. I will say that out in the Three Corners area of Utah, Nevada, and Arizona, there's just nothing out there. And people love to go and find this spot, and it's just like a GPS location. There's nothing there. And they would go out there and get stuck. And I just hated that area. I'm like, oh, they're out there?
Yeah.
Because there was just nothing fun. The trails were they're just boring, and it was just hours and hours of driving around searching for somebody that, you know, bashed their oil pan on a rock.
Oh, jeez.
So that was one of my least favorite places to go, is that three-corner spot.
Three-corner spot. Favorite off-road snack?
I love taking, my wife calls it a charcuterie board, but really it's just pepperoni, salami, and then cheese.
Oh,
fancy.
That's my favorite.
We need to go off-roading with Tom now. It's charcuterie time. What kind of cheese is on this charcuterie board?
I love Gouda. Yeah.
That's high rolling off-road. Charcuterie.
That is.
Yeah, cheese. Yeah, you want some cheese? I have a slice of pecorino.
Yeah. When you're done with an awesome day of off-roading,
okay,
and you're heading home alone, what song do you play? Like a classic, one of your favorites.
What song?
And there's no judgment. If it's Spice Girls, that's fine.
No. I'm trying to think who it's by. It's Lightning Crashes.
Lightning Crashes.
Oh, haven't heard that one.
Hang on. Let me.
That's not AC/DC.
No. It's kind of a heavy metal soft song. Hang on. It's a classic.
Does it matter too if the truck stayed together or if it broke? What song you listen to?
Yeah. Is there a different choice if it was a bad day of off-roading versus a great day?
Always Lightning Crashes by Live.
By Live.
Yeah.
Oh, we just learned something here then. Okay.
Oh,
You know
that's
the
cool.
song, right?
I've never heard of it.
No. Yeah, it'll sound familiar.
Oh yeah.
We'll listen to it on the way home.
One is, what's a favorite thing to do with the family outside of YouTube?
We like to ski together. We haven't done that for a while because we live
Down here.
in southern Utah now. But we also love to climb and hike and backpack. So we love being in the mountains. Anything to do in the mountains. We love fishing for trout in remote mountain lakes.
Oh, yeah.
We like to backpack into places where nobody's at. I love to go, and I do this with my kids, is climb big mountains. Up in Idaho, there's 12,000 footers. I'm trying to get them all done. And my kids have come with me on a lot of those trips. This summer, my daughter's never been up. The tallest mountain in Idaho is Bora, and I want to go back up.
Bora.
Yeah, I've been on the top of that mountain with each of my kids, well, with both my sons, and I want to get up there with my daughter Jessie this summer.
That's fun.
Is that close to the Tetons?
No, Bora's like in the middle of the state. It's in the Lemhi range. The Tetons are way over on the western or eastern edge.
I was gonna say, I've never heard of Bora.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
That's cool. Has there been an experience that has changed your life that has related to God, family, or country?
Yeah, all of them in a huge way. I don't know how to answer this because they're all equally important to me. You know,
Yeah.
it's like asking what is the most important angle in a triangle. Well, all three of them kind of complete. I will say that I grew up in a very Christian home, and I was taught to love and honor God, and I think those teachings in that environment also taught me to love my family and love everyone around me or my country. And so I would say that environment where I grew up with two fantastic, loving parents that instilled those values in me. It's not a single event, but a years of living in that home and that environment kind of shaped my life and how things have turned out. I think that that early belief in God and in Christianity and those values has really helped shape who I am.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Well, that's awesome. This is super fun to do. Tom, you're our first one to do this with us, and so he truly was the guinea pig.
It's all up from here.
Yeah, I feel like actually we cut that episode, the thing about the Chevy.
Yeah, nothing landed.
Okay, so last thing is we want to ask all of our guests where the best place to eat is in their town, preferably a food truck, but if not, it can be wherever. What's the best place to eat around here?
There is a food truck that comes around called On the Hook that has fantastic fish and chips, but it's not regular, so I don't know that you could hit that. But a great place to eat in town is Morty's. They have really good burgers, and they have scone fries.
Ooh,
They're really
scone
good.
fries sound good.
Yeah.
Let's go get some scone fries.
So, check out Morty's.
Morty's.
If you can't find fish on the hook.
Okay. Tom, thank you so much for
Yes,
coming
Tom.
out and having fun with us. This was super great. We're going to say goodbye to Tom, and then we're going to head to Morty's.
Morty's.
You know, when it comes in one of these generic brown bags, somehow now this is the sign of like, this has got to be a good burger.
That's a shopping bag.
Let's see if Tom knows what's up. One bite, see how it goes.
Oh, that's good.
That's pretty good. Fresh pickles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first thing I noticed. That was fun.
Tom was awesome. He didn't steer us astray with the food.
Super open, like on and off camera. He is exactly the same
Yep.
person. So we were glad to have him on this first one. I'm excited to do more of these.
Yep.
Meet more people, and God, family, and country. We'll see you guys on the next one. Sterling's Wild West.